Hello, everybody. It is me, Kat Kupo, here with Liari, bringing you the first streamed matches of NASA Season 3. Liari, how you doing? Feeling good?
I'm I'm great. I'm so excited to watch these games. Starting with Five Kais versus Plink Plonk. As Plink Plonk's coach, I am very biased. Gonna be cheering for them a bit, but I'll try and also note what Five Kais is doing because I think they're also a really cool team, and I like watching Josh's Octavia. How about you?
I'm really excited. I got back. I'm ready to cast this. I'm super interested to see how these matches go. There are a lot of really good teams here in NASA this season, and we get to see Plink Plonk, we get to see Five Kais here immediately. And I think this is a great one to start off our matches with because these are two teams that have sort of different styles, at least a little bit, right?
Yeah, so Five Kais, I think they have a lot more brawling and fighting oriented players. Josh notably can play Juliet and X. As a midfielder, he is able to flex into playing double brawler picks, and I think Five Kais might look for that alongside the greatest meme, who is also a brawler player. Tran plays Mako, I believe he plays Era. He also has a Dubu. Meanwhile, Plink Plonk is a lot more of a midfield-oriented team. Just Logan is swapping to forward to basically play it so J-Dog can be on the roster because that's what they feel like their best iteration is. And I think we're going to be seeing Plink Plonk favor more open, midfield-centric maps, while Five Kais is going to be wanting to play on like Night Market and fight people to death.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what the map selections end up being here because it really sounds like Plink Plonk generally probably wants slightly more open ones, while Five Kaiser would generally be looking for the more closed quarters brawly style. But we never really know until they pick. Both these teams are going to get to pick maps. It is a best of three today. All of the regular season is best of threes. And so it's going to be really interesting to see. I really want to see these first map picks because I really think the first one is going to really give us a tone for the rest of the series.
Yeah, and as their coach, I'm in the match thread, so I can say that um first pick went to Five Kais and they picked Atlas Lab, and then game two is going to be played on Oni Village. So I'm expecting on Atlas Lab, most likely Five Kais is going to try and murder Flink Plonk, and we'll see how that ends up going.
And Atlas Lab and then Oni Village. This is gonna be a long one. I'm settling in. I'm settling in here.
Yeah, two more traditional maps. Notably, Five Kais Van Clarion. They really didn't want the goofy map switch gimmick. And
Interesting.
like I mentioned, actually, Blink Plonk noted to ban Night Market, so they don't really have to worry about Double Brawler as much. Demon Dice not being in the pool means Night Market is really the only map that at least a lot of folks play Double Brawler on. And there's also Tycho, but we'll see if that ends up getting picked for the third game or not.
You mean you don't double brawler on Inkies? I thought that was the. No, don't listen to me on that. That's very bad. Don't double
Um,
brawler on Inkies.
I know in game one of today, actually, Orbits versus Party Rockers 2, Orbits went Rasmus Asher on Inkies. It was not the best game ever, but they tried it.
It's just, Rasmus is like half a brawler. Rasmus is half of everything.
Yeah, it kind of a midfielder. Asher Kai. Oh wait, you're right. I'm a griefer. My bad.
Oh no.
Thank you for noting that shape shifting. In Champion Select, they were talking about picking Rasmus. I swear.
That's okay. That's okay. This isn't it's not the game on stream. It's not the one that we're supposed to know anything about. So don't
So
worry
true.
about it. Don't worry about it at all. I'm just interested that people are picking Inkies again in competitive. I really love seeing that map, I'll be honest. It has obviously it's got that starter that's so different, but I
Yeah.
just like seeing it.
Yesterday at Nassau, I got stomped by Core Overflow on Inkies, so I'm not a fan of seeing it, actually. I'm a hater. Uh,
I
we'll
think that's
see.
fair.
Yeah, we'll see. Currently, Inkies is still an option for game three. I'm really curious. I feel like Plink Plonk wants Inkies. Okay, they actually end up banning Inkies.
Inky
So
fan.
that means the final game is going to be on Taiko Temple if it comes to it.
Ooh, very close quarters. Those drums are The drums on Taiko are so interesting. At first, I just did not like the angles that they took, but I started getting some nice bank shots off of those drums and realized that there's a lot of potential there. And then I hit someone with a Finny card and they bounced off of four different drums before they died, so that's fun too.
Yeah, it is a very goofy map. Definitely whenever people end up bouncing a ton, I always start laughing. Hard not to. I think one of the more annoying things about the map is that the middle thing really does condense a lot of the gameplay into two lanes, and it feels very like kind of lame because you get in these like very similar patterns over and over again, kind of like Night Market, but even more goofy. Um, we'll see how that ends up going. I know some teams end up like going Asher midfield on that map, which is really interesting, or Rune midfield. And other teams just stick with something like Era, which, especially once you get Monumentalist, can basically clear an entire lane on her own and force things through really easily. But I think both of these teams have pretty wide character pools, and while like there's not much overlap in them except for the Octavia, that just makes the games more exciting, and we'll get to see some diverse comps today. Especially Moff and Koi's Kazan goalie could come out.
I hope we see the Kazan goalie. I am really interested in why that works and why I lost to it so bad the other day in solo queue. But we gotta go back to Atlas Lab for a second. We are going to Atlas Lab
Yes.
for game one, and I wonder what we're going to see here. It's definitely killy, but there's certainly a lot of core control that you can play on this map. There's a lot of ways to protect those interesting circular barriers in the corners, and there's those goalie angles that can be just so frustrating.
Yeah, what I'm expecting. So, something to note here, right? Just Logan is normally a midfielder. He has like 1,000, 2,000 games in solo queue, mostly on midfield. He's recently been practicing forward for this. I think we'll probably see him pull out a Juliet. They might end up picking Kazan, although there's a higher chance that they want to save that pick for Muffin because he's been popping off on it recently, actually taking my team to set 5.5 on it during Late Night Lobster.
Ooh.
And yeah, it was a really exciting game. I think I played a game of Kazangoli last night to actually prep for this and get an idea of how it works. The closed umbrella form when he has the hook, really useful to stay in, and it can really save a lot of goals that look unsavable.
That makes
Um,
a lot of sense.
yeah, I'm excited to see how he ends up using it because I think there's also Xeno Gemini in the league who's a really good Kazan goalie, but there's not too many of those players out there, so it's a really refreshing pick to see.
Yeah, it's a pretty unconventional pick. It's a little rare to see him, but you know what I'm seeing right now, Liari? That's the loading screen to get into our first game on Atlas Lab. Are you ready? I'm so excited for this to kick off here. Five Kais on
Yeah,
the left blue side, Plink Plonk on the right side,
yeah.
and
Oh,
I'm
oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, both these teams are considered like playoff contenders by their peers. Five Kais were power ranked sixth by the fellow NASA players, and I believe Plink Plonk was power ranked third, or maybe it was even second. Both of these teams are pretty scary. And oh wow, Plink
No.
Plonk with the Octavia ban, not wanting to play the mirror out.
This sort of looks like there might have been a buff. That might have been one of the speed buffs there already. I'm staring at this comp that five Kais are hovering, and I'm not super thrilled about it, but that's just me. On the other side, I think we got it game one. Maybe? Could that be the Kazan goalie?
It is definitely the Kazan goalie.
It is the Kazan goalie with pauldrons and twin drive.
Oh, Twin
Uh,
Drive is pretty good for him, and also Twin Drive on the Juno is going to be pretty scary as we can get a Dash Awakening.
Yeah, both midfielders, both goalies with the twin drive, both forwards with a spark of agility looking to scale, and Moffin doing an excellent job protecting the barriers for a little while at least. He is still level 1 Kazan, so only half of his abilities so far, but only losing one barrier, and J-Dog and Just Logan are able to get both of 5Ks pretty quickly there.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see Just Logan managing to pull off a really great goal there into the Mako. Traditionally, Mako is actually a really hard character to score on, and Just Logan, new to the brawler role, is going to have to, assuming Jan puts up a performance, put in a lot of work to make these goals count. And
Yeah,
X era Mako scales a lot, so they really want to make sure they get these set wins when they can.
yeah. The scaling is kind of off the charts there, and an unfortunate double barrier there. But Moffin does get a clear out. Just Logan trying, but they're able to keep it in. Josh gets it back up to the great meme, puts it in to even up the set.
Yeah, great meme with great spacing on that goal. Definitely not memeing there.
Uh, Dran finally hits level 2 off of that primary. That everyone at least has access to their ultimates now. But the size decrease every time Josh has debuffed Muffin, 5Ks have managed to get a barrier here. Meme is really good at following this up, and Josh has Flip as well as Muffin. Both are used, though it's kept out for now, and the greatest meme is looking a little bit hurt here. Manages to get that orb to heal back up, but the burst from Just Logan gets the kill, and maybe a great chance here for Plink Plonk, though that goalie angle is a little hard to watch sometimes.
Yeah, the
Uh,
unfortunate corner bounce there on the Juno Blabo, but just Logan managing to stuff the flip out with his punch, and now J-Dog with a scoring opportunity.
J-Dog dribbling it around here, trying to get it back up to Logan. Core flips it, bounces it off the top, doesn't quite get to Logan. That one does, but it's a bit hard. Great blob there, sends it straight back, but Josh and the greatest meme are able to get possession back, at least for a moment. Logan dribbling and gets, oh my goodness, that Mako ultimate was really, really good. Really stopped a lot of damage from happening. But Moffin here on this Kazan goalie is just not letting it through, despite all of the greatest meme and Josh's efforts right in front of the net.
Yeah, and J-Dog also doing a great job there, actually saving it at the end with the Blabo, managing to pull it out when Moffin ran out of abilities. And the round is in overtime. This is where Kazan goalie wants to be. The core is going fast, and he's able to basically send it wherever he wants. Great meme getting staggered.
Oh, whoa. Really, really close point here. This has been going on for quite a while. The core is just getting faster and faster. Logan pushed back, but J-Dog keeping it in for a little while at least. Moffin and J-Dog combining in that blob. Great shot there from the blob. J-Dog putting it in the right place at the right time to get that clear, eat it up, and get a goal for themselves. And Plink Plonk with a lead, looking to take the first set.
Yeah, you mentioned this last point. Air beam shrinking Moffin Kobe and making it a lot harder for him to defend is really true. Kazan really needs size, and he also doesn't have too many abilities that are great in net. So if you're able to keep the core on Plink Plonk's side, eventually the Kazan goalie does start looking weak. However, Juno is able to really get the core out and help him keep the core on the enemy side of the field and apply a lot of pressure. Both Juno and Kazan make the core go really fast, and it can be hard to deal with.
Oh,
Oh,
an,
unfortunate angle there.
an unfortunate angle. Unfortunate that I think the unfortunate thing there from Moffin is holding that core flip just a little bit too long, bursting that a little bit earlier. Maybe could have saved the barrier, prevented the situation. Used it during the situation instead and ended up losing everything. But J-Dog is jumping forward here in the last point, trying to really secure this. This is going to be a close set one, and it's really, really important for both these teams to get a good start. And the greatest meme gets a kill, knocking Logan off the map. But Moffin and J-Dog are so good at defending together. This barrier does not go down. Logan is back, and the Blobs end up taking that right past the last barrier. Still one for each team. 15 seconds left. Overtime is coming, and like you were saying, that's when Kazan feasts.
Yeah, and getting that KO is going to basically stall out for overtime, exactly what Plink Plonk wants. And Plink Plonk really needs this first set. Xera Mako scales a ton, there's sparks in the game, they don't want this game to go long. And especially if they can find a team player on Kazan, the core is going to be really hard to play around.
Ooh, great strike war win there from the great meme though. Really able to finally get that last barrier. An early burst from Moffin and a great angle gets the last barrier down for 5 Kais as well. Moffin barely gets it back out. Just Logan is shrunk, but does not lose the core for a while until a pass from Josh to the great meme and the last goal of the first set goes down. 5 Kais take it. Josh gets first to pick, and wonder what scaling we're gonna see here.
Yeah, Demolitionist and Spark is up, so we'll see what they end up going. I think the Kazan's definitely going to be looking at team player now. Yep,
Yeah.
core is going to be going really fast, but this means X gets his second Spark. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
interesting. I think that quick strike pick is really interesting, especially because it essentially frees up this spark for just Logan on last pick.
Yeah, that is a questionable decision. Definitely X can still get specialized, he can still get CTL, Chrono, but I think going for Spark here when you already have Spark, especially when it's Spark or Rezel, is and peak performance reverb are also up, is kind of a suboptimal decision. Meanwhile, Ariel's getting Juno getting Aerials is going to really let her go
Oh,
across the entire map, and that's huge.
yeah, talking about that decision, it's not about what you have all the time, it's about what you give as well. Just Logan able to get a kill pretty quickly with that agility spark, and J-Dog able to push it in for Plink Plunk to take that first goal. You get the quick strikes with that pick, which is so great on X, but you're giving Julie a second spark and the opportunity to scale, and that can be quite scary. Juliet can get a little out of hands.
The biggest thing to note for 5 Kai side though is of course the heavy impact on Mako. Procking on giving teammates a buff means you always get on your secondary, and great shot angle there by Just Logan securing both barriers. Now that Mako has reduced CD on her secondary, a lot of these rounds can get really scary, and the Kazan goalie can get overran like he is right now.
Ooh, wow, I did not know that about heavy impact. Great save there from Muffin. A pass from J-Dog puts it where only Logan can get it, but Logan doesn't commit the burst and doesn't get the goal. Dribbles it off the top right to J-Dog. Great blob. Puts it straight in the top corner there.
Yeah, Jan had flip there, but sneaky Juno Blabos are gonna do their thing, especially in a high stakes NASA game. I think Juno's value on getting random little goals like that is kind of huge. One goal can really change a set.
One
Great
goal.
try on the kill there by just Logan.
Yeah, that was a great try. I like the early use of the burst. I don't want to just leave it there. Moffin there with an amazing open umbrella gets rid of the great meme. It's a 3v2 for Plink Plonk. And the first set was quite close, but whoa! J-Dog with that extra long jump and the core flip gets the goal, takes the second set for Plink Plonk. That was much faster than the first set.
Yeah, team player and Juno jumping everywhere really made things get scary quick. I think here Juno's probably looking at rapid fire, and that's going to just make more Blabos come out. There's a yep,
Wow.
and that's a really scary spot to be because basically X Era Mako just really wants to score as fast as they can before the round goes really long and they just end up bleeding out goals.
Oh no, a third spark there for Logan. Agility, agility, resilience, strength, and cooldown is still lurking.
This is
Oh, that could be quite scary.
this is everything Plink Plonk wants. They Jan ends up with Knife's Edge, which can help him a little bit respond to the core speed near his net, but already just Logan making use of that spark of strength, finding a quick KO.
And there's the blob from J-Dog. More Juno primaries means more of those hits specifically. But Logan is so fast when he's not shrunk by Josh. 3 sparks agility means you are moving quite quickly. I think it's 19% speed constantly, which
Yeah.
is a little bit overwhelming to deal with. And Moffin, with these team player passes, has so much power, reds the core with a simple strike. And, well, I'm praising Moffin, but there, the Great Meme and Josh work together to get both barriers pretty quickly. Five Kais are not out of this yet by a long shot.
Yeah, so five Kais can still scale. It's really hard because you're going to be going against quadruple Spark if Flink Flonk wins the set, probably. But they do have Cast the Last Era. There's still prime time available. You still have ways to make the game closer. It's just stopping the bleeding and converting goals when you can is going to be really hard against this comp.
Yeah, it's looking a little tough. There's a lot of great stuff on display here from Pling Plonk, uh, not playing the same Mako era X comp that we've been seeing quite a lot recently. Logan takes out the Great Meme into their own goal, but they have to get this barrier, and a great burst from Dran means they do not get it yet, and more great defense there too. J-Dog's burst is also repelled, trying to push forward desperately. Moffin with a great save, but the core is going so fast now. And oh my goodness,
I
Josh
don't
just
even know what he died
vanished.
to.
Josh died to the black hole. It spawned on top of him. That's so unfortunate. Especially because that happened right after the blob from J-Dog puts it in position, and Logan with core flip and punch is able to put it right past Dran. And you mentioned earlier that Mako is really hard to score on, but the thing that happens to her is that you can interrupt her, and Juliet punch interrupts basically everything.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job at basically just making the core go fast and catching the Mako when she's out of CDs and also stopping her very important secondary with the Juliet punch. And great
Yep.
scoring conversion by Great Meme killing Kazan.
Yeah, Moffin just a step too far back there. Tough to do anything in that situation. Great, not tough to do anything in that situation if the other player plays it perfectly. And Great Meme played that one perfectly. That's all he had to do, and he did it. And Five Kai's still alive in this set as well. Mako ult burned out here. Kazan, ooh, going quick there with that umbrella pull. Can't quite get it all the way out here, and Great Meme does a great job putting it back in. Just Logan can't quite get it up there to the barriers, but Moffin does it himself, putting it down. Duran has core flip, and Great Meme gets another kill onto Moffin. Great dash 2-2 in this set. And Five Cards are showing they are not shell-shocked from that last set. They are here to play.
Yeah, five Kai is on the verge of a reverse sweep, managing to keep the core up a lot more and just make the Kazan have no options to clear the puck. It's really hard as Kazan to withstand that kind of pressure. You really just want the clear to come early. Otherwise, you can really just get beaten down. And Josh's flip
Ow.
getting beaten out there by Moff and Koei, not letting that barrier down is going to be huge. Dran barely missing that primary,
Oh,
costing the barrier.
oh, that could cost more with how well Pling Plonk has been defending this last barrier. They still haven't let it get past them here. J-Dog ends up using Burst, and it doesn't get out yet, but they do manage to get it to the bottom. Josh puts it back in, but Logan puts Josh out. Core flip here for Logan. Burn does not get it. Duran uses theirs. Great job. Moffin trying to push forward, but that Mako ult shuts it down and lets them escape this power play situation. And now overtime has hit, and the Great Meme has hit that barrier. J-Dog able to get it out from between them, but can't quite get anything with the pass to the front. Just Logan looking for something from Moffin and the Greatest Meme, but the Greatest Meme has core flip, uses it, does not get it, and Moffin is putting it back in. Moffin now, the one with the core flip, uses it up to Logan. A great dash punch puts it in, and Plink Plonk take the third set. They're one set away, and Moffin gets first pick in this draft.
Yeah, and we see Kazan constantly managing to just basically push the core out right before X can get it, using his ability as well and managing to get the core out. Because if the X can get on top of him and punch him or spin and hit stun him, it gets a lot scarier. But Moffin's managing to push the core out before the core even gets to him. And now picking up the prime time is going to have more hooks, more open umbrella primaries, and it's going to be really hard to score on him.
This this draft is a little crazy. I'm seeing the 1-2 the 1-2 on X along with the fight or flight, the quick strikes, the slick kicks. That's a we mentioned the scaling earlier, and that X is scaled. That's pretty scaled. But on the other side, Logan was able to get size. The other spark did not show up. It's not 4 sparks just yet, which puts more threat on them for this last draft if they get another. If 5 Kais can take this set, Moffin gets a kill on the Great Meme, I believe, and they are pushing forward, trying to get this last barrier. Unable to get it. Great defense there from Dran and Josh, but if they can delete the Great Meme off the field that quickly, it's a little hard to defend. Juno ultimate, also a little hard to defend sometimes, gets that last barrier, but Logan can't quite find the pass to J-Dog, intercepted by Josh, and the Great Meme puts it in the bottom corner.
A great goal there. Unfortunately, it really seems like Plink Plonk wants the round to last until overtime, or they get a random cheeky little goal before then. But most of the time, they're finding their goals in overtime when the core is just zooming. And with Prime Time and Twin Drive on Kazan, it'll be a lot easier to stall until then. However, when Five Kais is
Ooh.
able to set up good passing plays, they're able to actually find goals. And that's what I want to see if they want to bring this game back and win the next 2 sets.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness, a lot of damage from just Logan there onto Josh. The core flip committed as well, but cannot get it past Dran. Moffin putting up a great defense against the Great Meme, but can he hold up forever? 3 core flips online right now means there's a lot of playmaking that can happen, and that overtime that Pling Plonk have been waiting for every time. Oh my gosh, that's in 4 seconds, and you know who isn't here for that? The Great Meme.
That was a
How
huge flip kill. Great
that
Meme
was
had core flip and he died.
he died with flip. That's a great use of resources. Oh no, Muffin! Muffin ran into the Monumentalist Tornado. Great placement there from Josh. Can they take advantage of it? They can! Puts it in right over the blob. 5 Kais looking to take this to set 5.
That was an extremely meaningful NATO. The Monu NATO barely clipping Moffin, and then the Blavo barely not reaching the core and letting the goal in. Really unfortunate round for Plink
Oh
Plonk and great
no.
round by Five Kais, and another continuing on that trend.
Oh my goodness, it was the speed from the team player that made it so hard to save when they could not keep control of that core. But whoa, Moffin does manage to get the save, keep this point alive. Logan and J-Dog are looking for this last barrier. A really interesting angle on that air tornado, doesn't get it, but that angle does get it from Moffin. Moffin manages to pull it away from the Great Meme, keeps it alive. No barriers here. Moffin keeps it alive, puts it down to J-Dog. Logan looking for it. Logan looking for it, and the dash punch will in fact get it. Pling Plonk get their first point of this set.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some rounds where you just see Five Kai steamroll Plink Plonk, but there's so many rounds where Moffin Kobe makes hero saves and makes the core just last out there on the field way longer than I'm expecting. And it's really team player barely
Oh,
making that save. That's insane.
team player makes these saves, and team player is getting these barriers too. I see Moffin hit these angles off the top corner and get the Dran's second barrier more often than I'd think. The Great Meme though gets Moffin Cooey. Just
Yeah,
Logan able to defend here with a core flip. J-Dog doing their best as well. One goes down. The core flip is burned. Moffin is back, and Meme is gone.
yeah, that was a huge kill on Moffin Kobe, but they're able to hold and most importantly get the kill back on the greatest meme, getting the final barrier, and now overtime's 10 seconds away.
Josh has been doing an amazing job defending some of these passes that Plinkplonk have been trying to put out there. but at very little health and no evade. Josh can't do anything to get in the middle of that. That team player coming into play, Muffin to Logan to the top corner, and it's game point for Plinkplonk.
Yeah, Josh has no evade. Just Logan has triple spark, including spark of strength. A really scary spot to be in for an era who is looking tasty. And J-Dog with flip up in the enemy goal line could convert here.
J-Dog is absolutely looking to convert. There's the flip. Just Logan does not manage to get it, or Josh, but Josh is now broken from that slime. Moffin still pushing it up more. J-Dog tanks the black hole to get rid of it, and Moffin with the team player off of the back wall gets that goal. Josh is gone. Moffin tries to pass it to J-Dog, but Great Meme is there to block it. J-Dog, Moffin to J-Dog to Just Logan. And then just a dribble, taking a second to get back into this. Moffin unable to keep control of the core that whole time. But Five Kai's managing to hold on. It's an incredibly close one here. And Just Logan is looking unable to get it. Moffin still has core flip though, even if they can get it back past them. Moffin just core flips it right into the blob, and just Logan's ultimate is able to push it past Dran. 3-2, 3-1 in sets, and Plink Plunk beat 5 Kais in game one.
Yeah, that was a great game by Plink Plonk. Winning on the map 5 Kai's chose going to be huge for the next two games. I think that game really saw the power of Kazan getting team player on the very first draft. There were so many times Jan would just barely step too far up and he would lose the second barrier for it. And then when the net was open, it was so much harder for him to defend, and it was so much easier for Moffin Kobe when his net was open and his barriers were down to just keep sending the core out and finding these little small angles around the X and the era that they were leaving open to just keep the pressure on Mako and give J-Dog and just Logan as many times to score as they needed to. Great performance by Muffin Koei. Definitely, to me, looking like the MVP of that game, even though just Logan was able to find a ton of really important KOs and Juno did Juno things.
You know, you say that, you say he looked like the MVP. He looked like the MVP. He had the most redirects in the game, 242. 20 more than second place, which was Josh on the other side. Interesting to see a goalie with the most redirects and a melee goalie at that. But, Marvin was just everywhere, putting out a lot of great defense. And honestly, J-Dog's blobs did so much that game to just get those redirects. I'm really impressed with Pling Pong. They've been learning really. I bet they have some great coaches.
Yeah, I'll be honest, the team is so good, they kind of coach themselves a lot. Me and Lily are there mostly to answer questions and help them with anything they ask. But they have ways they like to play. And I think here they were able to play how they like to play. 5 Kai's banned the Rasmus, which, if you look at Plinkplonk's games lately, they've been finding a lot of success on the Kazan, not on the Rasmus goalie. I think while there's not much footage of Plink Plonk with just Logan in the roster, you can still make some assumptions that Moffin Koei is probably going to be the player to look at. And yeah, he has an insane Rasmus, but it feels like unless you're really confident on your ability to pass the puck around, get the puck around the Kazan, and not just try and force it through him, you need to ban the Kazan or adapt to having to play that passing style game.
Yeah, it's interesting. So we just went to Atlas Lab. As you mentioned, that was 5 Kai's pick, and now we're going over to the pick of Fling Flong, which is Oni Village. Do you think the Kazan goalie is going to come out again there on Oni Village? Is that a different
He
situation
will be
there for
looking for
them?
it. If
Oh,
you think about how that last game went, right?
mhm.
How many times did they get the barrier from Jan slightly overstepping and using core speed? On
That's
Oni, the core goes even faster.
that's true. It does. As a goalie player, I get very frustrated when I just miss it because I just misjudge the Oni speed. It's so easy to just have a slight miscalculation because of the little bit of speed from the sides. Bounces are just a little strange. And I'm interested to see if I'm interested to see who's going to be able to hold better. I felt like Dran did really well that game, but some of those little step forwards were too much. And if there's anywhere that gets punished harder than anywhere else, I think that's probably Oni Village.
Yeah, I think it's a really hard game to play. Obviously Dran didn't have many redirects. That's just kind of a Mako goalie thing. You hold down secondary, it doesn't count as a redirect except for the hit at the end. And he definitely did get punished for stepping too far out. It is a really hard line to play, and also you can say there's a lot of times where the midfielder, where Josh has to be able to cover the corner clear because that's exactly where Kazan wants to hit it. And Dran wants to be able to walk up and pressure the bottom lane, and you need the era to, or whichever lane the barrier is up. And you need the area to cover the opposite clear lane to make it so the ball doesn't just go all around the corners and get the barrier for free. I think Josh was not covering that position a lot during the last game, and instead they were very tunneled on trying to just force the core through one lane and being near that lane to assist it. If they play against a Kazan again, they need to make that adaptation of covering that side and making sure the core doesn't get past there for free and take a barrier.
Yeah, it's a this map really creates some. This map is known for creating those really long-term situations, and if, as you've mentioned a few times, Pling Plonk just loves those overtimes. They love the core speed. They love to work with it. Uh, you know, that could be pretty good on Oni Village. It's real. Every point goes long on Oni Village. Well, not every point, but most of them. Most of them go pretty long, and that can be so tough to deal with.
Yeah, and I think also it's important to note Muffin Koei back in I believe the qualifier was called Liftoff. Back in the qualifiers for NASA and NASA, Muffin Koei played a ton of Rasmus. He hadn't really played the Kazan yet, and he played a lot of Rasmus on Oni Village. It's really hard to identify this team, like what your band should be into Plink Plong. Because you have Just Logan's Octavia, you have J-Dog's Juno, you have Muffin Koei's Kazan and his Rasmus. All of these picks are really scary and have the chance to make a game unwinnable on their own. Something I'm excited to see here is I know J Dog's been practicing a lot more Estelle lately, and I want to see if he pulls that out on Oni Village, the premier Estelle map.
Yeah, this is well, I've definitely saw some people in the chat saying there's absolutely no way Juno gets through again, and they were right. Juno is the ban now from Five Kais. Octavia's still the ban from Plink Plonk. I thought the Juno did a lot that game, and Oni Village is so open for Juno. I think that's a good ban here from Five Kais, but it does leave other things open, including actually the Rasmus.
Yeah, Rasmus a really great pick on Oni Village, both for forward and goalie. Goalie Rasmus kind of really beats forward Rasmus, but it's looking like okay, this is actually really hard to tell because both Just
Yeah.
Logan and Moff and Covey both play Rasmus and Kazan, so I have no idea until the game loads in.
It's so hard to read. In fact, Moffin is on the Rasmus Glass Cannon Spark of Resilience. Another Spark start here.
Yeah,
I'm
this oh,
super interested. Go ahead.
this is huge. Moffin Kobe getting Glass Cannon kind of negates the biggest weakness of Rasmus Goalie not having move speed because you're taking Powerhouse. This is a really good setup. This is kind of exactly where I think Plink Plonk wants to be. The only thing is Kazan can have some difficulty finding scoring opportunities into Dubu, and hopefully what J-Dog's going to be able to do with his Glass Cannon is set up a lot of good hit stun to guarantee those barriers, and then Kazan will have a lot easier of a time scoring on the open net.
Ooh. Yeah, absolutely. I'm pleased to see this, Estelle. That was a good call out from you as well. The great meme with a Rasmus primary gets the second barrier down for Pling Plonk, and J-Dog is not quite able to connect with the core yet. Dran still holding onto the bottom barrier here for Five Kais, but there hasn't been too much goal pressure yet, I feel like. Although right there, that was a really good chance for the great meme. core flip burned from Duran to save that last barrier, and overtime is here.
And what we saw there was a very minor Rasmus interaction where the Rasmus with bigger size, the goalie, was just able to primary it out of the Rasmus's touch. And you're going to see a lot of those. Great angle by Logan, barely sniping that barrier.
Really able to work with that speed and find exactly what he wanted. J-Dog serving it up here for Logan, but not quite in the right spot, perhaps. Just uses the burst to get it to Logan, and Dran says absolutely not. Puts up the wall. Josh bursts as well. But both of these goalies doing such a good job until Logan mixes it up a little bit with that pull. Gets that hit past Duran for the first goal of the game.
Yeah, and already there's so many goals that Rasmus was able to save because he has Glass Cannon. It's really scary. The only time that blue team really has like a great opportunity to score is when Rasmus runs out of abilities or the Kai manages to get a really good barrage through and just force it through because Rasmus doesn't have any multi-hits and doesn't have a great way of dealing with barrage.
Yeah, it's certainly the issue with Rasmus to deal with here is the Kai. Able to deal with the other Rasmus quite well. Too big because of those powerhouse pauldrons. Watching here, Plinkplonk really trying to get this last barrier, but it's, oh my goodness, again, the umbrella pull from Logan gets Dran. Dran commits the roll, loses everything off it, the barrier, then the goal. Plinkplonk up 2-0.
A clean hook there, getting it around the Dubu roll and just honestly making Dran look shooken up. That was really hard to defend. I honestly, just Logan literally in the Plink Plonk group chat was like, I don't think I can play Kazan. And then I was like, Kazan's really easy. You got this, for real. And then he was like, I'm gonna play Kazan. And now he's playing Kazan in NASA the next day. I'm really happy to see this. He's honestly having a great performance, and I'm really happy.
Oh, yeah, you're not supposed to say Kazan is that easy. You know what you've done to the people who watch this stream. I'm gonna see so many Kazan goalies today, and it's gonna be so frustrating because none of them are gonna be as good as Muffin here.
He's a lot
Low.
harder to play goalie than he is forward. I'll say that.
That's
Little hard to
fair.
score with as a forward, but like the basic game plan is really all you do is spam all your abilities and deal a ton of damage and find random edge KOs like that with the umbrella primary really hard to deal with if you're not expecting it.
Absolutely, a great kill onto Duran. Overtime is here, and Logan just waits it out and gets it straight past Josh. Great shot into the bottom corner. 3-0 for Plink Plonk. They're looking pretty strong here. And Moffin is getting first pick. Could deny size immediately by taking that big fish. I'm not sure that's what he'll do, but it's
If he
possible.
does that, I think they just win the game. It double size Rasmus
Uh,
against a no size Rasmus forward is so hard to deal with. They're going to have to find a lot of creative angles
oh
if they
no.
want to score. And just Logan picking up a second spark again, going for the mare build in both games.
It this draft this draft looks really good for Plink Plonk and not that great for Five Guys. The quick
Yeah,
strike is good, but
it's really hard. You have like more rolls now, so that's kind of cool. And you also have Quick Strike on Josh, who can look for an egoist later on. Oh, that's a really big kill on J-Dog, managing to get some pressure going for Five Kais, but they lose the barrier to a really good hook by just Logan.
that bottom speed there, the Oni Village speed zone, makes it so hard to save there. The great kill by the Great Meme, proving you don't always need size on Resmus, but Muffin Kui is here, and you know, you may not need it, but it's really good to have.
Yeah, it's so easy for Moff and Kobe to find these clears. Five Kais has to do so much work just to get the last barrier on this map, while it is so easy for just Logan to just dismantle Tran's offense. Not looking like a midfielder who just swapped to forward like 2 weeks ago. He's having a
I,
standout set.
I actually disagree. That looked a lot like a midfielder to me because he's just standing there and using that Rasmus closed primary, I believe, That
Oh, the
little hook
Kazan
to
close,
just
yeah.
because oh my God, the Kazan close primary just to pull it back, get those interceptions that you really are looking for as a midfielder. So I think Logan's experience as a midfielder is helping out a lot with that. That's the Oni Village one. He keeps getting rid of these passes, hitting it in a weird spot where Duran isn't quite looking, and oh my goodness, gets the barrier and then the core flip gets the kill. 2-0 for Plinkplonk. They're running away with this.
Yeah, Gran is just getting mixed up. It's just like you said, just Logan is managing to find a lot of creative angles and just bait out these strike timings from Dran and making him look a little lost.
Oh my
It's
God.
so hard to hold here.
It's so hard to hold here, but Dran is doing their best. Moff, but everybody on this field is doing their best, it feels like, and sometimes it's just running out of time. The scaling here that the scaling here that Pling Plonk has managed to get just makes it a not really good situation for Five Kais. If there wasn't a Rasmus mirror, maybe if then there would be a better chance. But that means that their offensive pressure takes such a hit. And Logan and J-Dog are doing so much. Logan is doing so much. J-Dog is still level 4. Logan and Muffin are level 6. Dribbling and trying to bait something out there. Doesn't quite get it out of Duran. But you know what? Overtime is here. The Pling Plonk comfort zone is coming. Logan looks for something, doesn't quite get it, but they still have the core control. They're still the ones making the passes and making the plays here. Moffin's primary able to get a good clear. The burst from Josh, though, and the great angle gets the first goal here for Five Kais.
Great angle by Josh. I do think Josh is one of those is a really good player who manages to find unique goal, not unique, but cute little goals like that are at an angle that's just hard for the Kai to reach, and stuff like that is what we want to see if Five Kais wants to come back in this game. And you mentioned earlier, J-Dog only level 4, not doing too much this game, but I think he is doing what he has to do, which is just be a second goalie for Moffin Covey, be in the spots where he can't be because he's not the fastest character in the world. He's a melee goalie, and sneaking it right around Jan there with a great core angle, with a great pass angle.
Yeah, this team from Pling Plunk is actually so tricky. As I say that, the great meme manages to do some trickiness of his own, and J-Dog misses flip. But oh my God, that's exactly what I meant by
That was
tricky.
disgusting.
Logan with an amazing series there on this Kazan pulls the core out of range, puts it in a different corner. There's there's the first pick here for Muffin, and oh my
He
gosh.
just gets more size. It
Oh, does
is
he?
he not gonna? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
oh, he did.
And it's so unfortunate because Erasmus has to deny the specialized training from Kazan, but now Kazan just gets his third spark. I, how do you win? Flink Plonk has the best draft luck in the world. This is insane.
J-Dog, I think the best draft luck in the world, maybe Rasmus triple size, maybe Kazan triple sparks. J-Dog got Ariel's last on Estelle there. That's
Yeah,
what can you do when a draft is like that? When you're denying them and they still get all of these incredible picks for their team. I guess
that
it's a small blessing for them that Logan doesn't have the strength spark, but is it really? Wow.
great score there by Great Meme. Managing to convert. I think something really important to note out here is Josh picked up the Among Titans. At least Great Meme now has some size to work with. It did let J-Dog get aerials, but if J-Dog got Among Titans and his Rasmus had triple, quadruple size, I think it just would have been impossible for Five Kais to play the game.
No, I
And
think that's
Tran
a
dying off the edge there. That's huge.
yeah, that's absolutely massive. Just Logan able to push it past Josh. J-Dog misses and Logan emotes, I guess
Logan has a habit of standing there for fun sometimes. I've
hmm,
noticed.
hmm.
Hasn't come out yet in the series, but if it starts coming out more, we can see Five Kai start to get some scary goals.
Oh,
But Josh, so fast, managing to get that the glass cannon and the Among Titans speed coming in clutch.
Yeah, I didn't notice that Among Titans pick. That is absolutely massive. It gives Duran a much better chance of saving some of these shots that Logan is getting too. So amazing pickup. And Josh is using the speed to weave in and out of Plink Plonk some. But it doesn't matter if you get the barriers if Logan is able to core flip for a goal again. 1-1 here. Plink Plonk really want to just end this.
Yeah, I feel like Five Guys definitely has a way they want to play the game. They have some really good moments, but just Logan just
Oh,
on his own manages to beat basically their entire team in so many skill checks, causing such a massive impact on this game.
yeah, it's a little crazy the impact that oh the impact that Logan's able to have, but that was a great series of core flips. A great meme manages to put it in. Five Kai's up. Five Kai's looking for their first set here. Five Kai's looking to stop four sparks on that Kazan.
Yeah, Great
Uh
Meme is really coming alive, finding so many important goals, killing Moff and Koei for the first one, and for that next goal, reacting to the core flip instantly and just calling out Moff and Koei, starting to get his number.
Yeah, it feels like Moffin has started to miss these Rasmus hooks sometimes, looking to find these good angles for clears, not finding them so much anymore. Is there a thing, is there such a thing as too big on Rasmus? See, that one just missed as well, though perhaps it's just covering the possibility. Maybe that's probably right. I'm probably the dumbass here. But you know what? That's fine. Logan here pushing forward. Moffin ends up getting it back. They can't quite get it past Dran here, and overtime is quickly approaching. Logan here gets a pass from J-Dog, dribbles it upwards, a few touches, but can't manage to get the last barrier. A barrier still stands as overtime hits for both sides, but a core flip from Josh gets rid of Pling Plonk's barrier, and they are looking to finish this set up. Ooh.
Yeah, Dran not really letting any free barriers go anymore, managing to figure out just Logan's scoring patterns and react to them appropriately. If he managed, oh, barely just Logan manages to get over him, and that's a huge barrier loss. Now with the flip, almost gets it in, and Dran, amazing core flip reaction, getting it right past Moff and Koei and taking set three. And there are still some important awakenings left. Demolitionist, Kazan is, or Rasmus could be looking for that, and it's up. I feel like we are going to see a demolitionist and then a team player. That's what I'm calling.
Gosh, yeah, there's the size. There's the team
Yep,
player, and there's the spark denial. Okay, those three had to
perfect.
happen.
I
Now
know
what?
Moffin loves his team player. The Kazan, though, managing to get egoist is going to help him close out the rounds that go on longer. When he gets to flip, he'll have a lot of movement speed and a lot of opportunity to basically just choke out the Dubu and get a guaranteed goal.
A little bit rough. Josh there had to take that spark to deny just Logan, who has all three of the others. The Rasmus first in the draft was incredible. Let them get that demolitionist, which the cooldown reset I believe is most of the stuff for the great meme. Oh, a barrage there from Josh almost gets the last barrier for Plinky Plunk, but they managed to get it out. That team player speed is already here. It already looks a little bit like overtime when Muffin is hitting it. But a barrage from Josh doesn't allow the hook to clear. J-Dog hits it to Logan. Logan can't quite get it in even with J-Dog's support. And Duran gets a clear every barrier down, and the hook almost does enough to score a goal, but that angle from J-Dog means that when Duran rolls that way, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it's a scary spot to be in. You still need two more set wins, and Moffin Kobe has team player on a map where
Oh,
it's really easy to just find these random barriers, especially with the Kazan hook. Basically just rooting. Jan is a lot of the time rolling. Oh wow, just Logan managing to get both barriers. That was insane. Sorry. I
Um,
was so busy admiring his play.
no, it was really good. Had a really great angle there too, and there's another one from J-Dog that Estelle Primary beats the roll 2-0 Plink Plunk. If this goal goes in for Plink Plunk, this was a quick first series for an Oni Village game.
For sure. I think,
Oh,
oh, that's a major kill on just Logan managing to just quickly kill him with the Giga, and now a scoring attempt for 5 Kais. I'm running out of breath. This game is going so fast.
Giga, just burst, just keep getting kills, but then you end up losing a barrier there on the other end. Dran able to stop the second one, but Logan is killing this power play in midfield, and J-Dog is already back. One barrier lead, but that one barrier lead could be huge. It's a little less big now that the Great Memes core flip is gone. Logan pushing it in, pulling it back, pushing it in, pulling it back, not able to quite get it. A good Tofu Fortress blocks off the path for J-Dog, but Plink Plonk can't quite get it out yet. An amazing hook means that they are safe for now. Just Logan passing to J-Dog, but the Great Meme is there to intercept the passes. Moffin bursts, but they can't get anything off of it, and the Great Meme is able to just hit the far corner.
Yeah, it's really difficult. So Pling Plonk obviously has a lot of advantage when the core is going really fast, but sometimes they just kind of go too hard at it. And even when they can set up the core and get a guaranteed goal, they just make the play a little too fast. You see J-Dog blinking forward when he could just play a little more patiently and let the core get set up. Um, 5 Kai is taking advantage of that and getting two great starts to these last 2 rounds.
Moffin just missed a strike and then didn't have the cooldown. Seems to be happening a few times here. I couldn't see J-Dog behind that blob from Moffin, but you know what? Apparently they can see the core. Nice saves. Logan keeps it up, but the Estelle ult doesn't actually put it in. We have a core flip on J-Dog. Logan almost has one too. There it is. Looking for this last barrier, looking to end this series. J-Dog gets the barrier with the flip and the primary. Gets the core back thanks to Muffin Kui, who manages to save it from the Great Meme over and over again. And Logan has space and the core flip. And you have to commit to an option there as Dran and Logan puts it in the other side. Plink Plonk win the first game of NASA Season 3. 5 Kais defeated.
Yep, and you saw there at the end, just Logan got flip. His team told him, "Hey, stay upfield, and we'll get the core to you, and you just score on the Dubu 1v1." That's exactly what happened. One thing I did want to note, Jan could have rolled more directly at the Kazan. I think it's really hard to predict Dubu rolls and to try and like hit the core as it's moving. So a lot of the time you just need to roll at the core, particularly like walk up to them, do it when they're in melee range. You don't have to worry about the ping then and getting some weird interactions. But just Logan managing to just consistently find when he has the open space to make the creative angles and to make the plays that he needs to make, he was consistently able to just break down Dram's defense and find the scoring conversion, which was really cool to see. We saw 5 Kais start to come alive in both games. In both games, they really had a chance. It's just Plink Plonk had amazing drafts. They had great gameplay. Moff and Kobe putting in an MVP performance, and I'm really excited to see what both of these teams end up doing throughout the rest of the NASA season.
Yeah, this is just the start of the season for both of these teams. We saw a lot of very interesting picks there from Plink Plonk, which will make them really interesting to watch through this whole season. Make them a little bit hard to defend against when you can't quite. When do you just ban Kazan against this team when two players can play it, or do you have to take out J-Dog's Juno, or what can you do? And over on the side of 5 Kais, they had a lot of good play, but in that second game, it really felt like Plink Plonk was blessed by the draft, and sometimes that happens and you have to deal with it. But that game one was really tight for the majority of it. And even in this one, they managed to take a set. They almost pulled off a comeback. I don't think Five Guys has anything to I think there's a few things to regret about the game, of course, but like you played well, the draft happened. You couldn't do anything about that. Focus on what you can control, get better for the next one.
They definitely could have had better drafts. I think there's an argument, right? Like when the Rasmus denied Specialized from the Kazan, who was already looking for Spark anyway, you probably just bite the bullet and take Knife's Edge or something like that. So you have movement speed to work with on Oni Village. It's they have a lot to look at this game and a lot to talk about with how they drafted and what they were prioritizing. It is really difficult when you're playing against a team like Plink Plonk, who has a lot of like more unique picks that you don't see often, to properly evaluate, hey, what is priority? What do I draft? And I think Plink Plonk had a good strategy coming in on which maps to pick, which maps to ban, and as a result, the games looked really dominant, even though I think in another world where Five Guys either has a little bit better draft luck, drafts a little differently, or just the teams pick different maps and see different answers, it's a lot more competitive of a series. I think both of these teams are playoff contenders, and it'll be really exciting to see later on in the season if they end up meeting in playoffs how they've learned from this experience.
It's going to be great. And we are going to take a short break here on our side. But when we come back, you know what we have next, Liari? We have Platinum Exclusive taking on the Fools.
This is probably, honestly, game of the day. I am expecting both of these teams to finish really highly by the end of the season and to pop off. I am so excited to see the game later, or right after this break.
Hello again, everybody. It's me, Kakupo, here with Liari for our second and final series of the day on stream. Era's Full Club versus Platinum exclusive. We have all the players ready. I already forgot, but I'm pretty sure Era's Full Club was the ones who picked Night Market as the starter.
Yes, and then PLX is going to be going to Imy's app on game two, which, while they had two different players in, today they have Fudgy Waffles and Zay Forever. During their late night lobster run, where they got second and took a game off the off rollers, they had Drew and Cal's as their forward duo. They had a lot of really good upset wins on Imy's app, and I'm really excited for that game too. But for this game one, I think we'll be looking at quite possibly a double brawler mirror. Because both of these teams love playing that, and they both have the players who have enough flexibility. Fudgy Waffles, known as one of the top midfielders in the game, able to pick a ton of different things, most known for his Luna, which we probably won't be seeing on Night Market, but it'll be a really exciting forward duo to match up against. Seeing Flop Flop, who has been around in the community for a while, always been one of the higher ranked players, but never really having a ton of tournament results or tournament participation. Recently, now on Era's Full Club, finding a lot of success alongside Zoro and Three Deaths, managing to take a game off Sad Boys during Debut Cup, take a game off Core Overflow during Debut Cup, two top Nassau teams, and obviously PLX on the back of their late night lobster performance and their performance last season in NASA, winning the whole thing. This is basically a battle between two teams that could easily be top two, top three at the end of the season.
Yeah, this is going to be a big one. I'm wondering if we're seeing that double brawler on both sides. I wonder what bans we end up seeing for something like that. If you want to play it, do you ban one of the Mako or the Era and just see what the other one goes? Or if we see an interesting situation, we could even see some bans. We could even see a Castellax start necessitating an Octavia ban, opening a lot of doors here. But there's one thing we will definitely see, and that's the loading screen shortly. We are queued up. There's the loading screen for us. We are going to Night Market for the first game of this series, and I am excited to see it.
Yeah,
Oh
Pineapple
no.
already hovering the Mako. This is going to be a very traditional game from the side of
Hey!
PLX. Banning Octavia themselves, which I don't know the Fools as an Octavia team. I am more willing to believe that PLX would play it, but just banning it out, wanting to play the more of a normal game, and meanwhile the Fools banning Juliet, which
Oh no.
it
Oh
looks it's looking
no.
like a mirror.
I
Now
don't.
Flop Top could play as Jakar, but that might be a little grief.
Oh
Well,
no. I don't want to. I don't want to do this. Are we really seeing it?
I'm
I'm just waiting for the era to lock in. It's gonna be here.
yeah. X Era Mako, two really high scaling comps. We're going to be paying a lot of attention to the drafts, seeing how these teams manage to scale. Hopefully, one X will get specialized training, one Era will get Castellax, maybe Primetime Rapid Fire. A lot of really
Unfortunately,
powerful trainings to look out for.
unfortunately, they've all got cast Celeste, except for It's a Pineapple who has Hot Shot. But every other player in this game has cast Celeste already as the starter. That
Yeah,
that the Castellast Octavia band start actually came true.
it
Can't be
did, and
happier
I'll say
about
it.
that.
I think Zoro messed up taking Castellast. Hotshot's actually pretty good on Mako. I think the secondary, when you do the second hit and it lowers the cooldown of your secondary coming back, it's really important. Meanwhile, Castellast doesn't really do too much on that lingering buff for the
Yeah,
secondary.
yes. After the nerf to the duration, it isn't nearly as good because the duration only goes up maybe to about 3/4 of a second maximum, and that's not generally worth an entire slot. Hotshot, the cooldown refresh could be enough. But you know what? We're talking about the we're talking about the awakenings a lot and not about the barriers going down. Every barrier is down now. It is open for play, and that's a great pass there. Fudgy with a great tornado that Zay followed up on keeps Zoro in the bottom corner of the goal. And then the pass from Fudgy to Zay to the top corner is really good there. And I don't really like the mirror comps here, just because it feels like if one person gets something, it denies it to your team, and it makes losing draft hurt way, way worse.
It's kind of a bet on, hey, we're the better players. We can play this comp better than you. I think it's fine to go for mirror comps. I just think, honestly, like, what will there's a very good chance that throughout this game we'll see the Fools have like solid round starts, but then
Oh,
as the round continues, Pineapple will manage to get more CDs and just outperform. Great kill there though on Zay Forever, and the Fool's able to convert into one barrier.
able to convert to one barrier, but PLX is able to convert a kill there right back. One power play after another, but Zoro does a great job protecting this one. Though Flop is looking a little bit hurt there. Oh, great defense there from It's a Pineapple. Zoro's core flip is gone. Pineapple still holding onto their Zay as well. A bounce off the middle. Unfortunate hit there from Zoro. A great core flip from Zay, but Flop is there as the second goalie to protect everything. Three Deaths gets shrunk by Fudgy, and Fudgy takes over the midfield for a moment, but Flop is here and beats the core flip. Three
Flop's
Deaths
just beating
push.
every core flip.
Flop is just beating every core flip right now. But that's not a core flip. That's just a punch to the face from Zay. Zoro goes down, and it's 2-0 for PLX.
Yeah, Zoro tries to stand way back there so he could strike after the X ult struck. Unfortunately, stood too far back in his net, died for it. Um, this game is quickly snowballing against the Fools. And like we said, this is a mirror comp. If PLX can just get one good draft, the game can look very hard. However, Floptop with a good NATO setup, managing to sneak one barrier, and now PLX all
What the
looking
hell?
damaged. Great flip to finish off Fudgy, and now Pineapple staggered, no evade, looking dangerous in his net.
Thought that was a mistake from Flop, but I think that was intentional. Off the
For
center,
sure.
preserved it for a long time. Together they get the kill on Pineapple and put it in. Great angle. I would have never seen that one. Amazing play there from Flop Flop.
Yeah, Flop coming into this game looking calm and collected against former Nassau midfielder Fudgy Waffles. I think this is really the matchup to look at if you want the Fools to win. Flopdrop needs to manage to outperform Fudgy or at least stack up well enough into him to set up his team to do well.
I completely agree with you. And right now, I think Flop is doing that. Zay is hurt now. Zoro is killing him, and Flop holding the core in the net. Can't get it past Fudgy there, but both eras shrunk and slowed. Pushing forward, trying to get this. Three Deaths does eventually get that last hit in there. Has the core flip, so does Zoro. Flop switches back so they can use that core flip offensively. Here's Zoro pushing forward with the flip. Doesn't get it. Three Deaths actually is losing a bit there to Zay. Low health, still has this core flip though in position. Has the flip. There it is. There's the dash. 2-2. And the Fools, or rather Era's Fools Club, are not making this easy for PLX. That thing we said about those mirror drafts, they can easily get it too if they get this first set, and they are in a good position to now.
Yeah, great comeback there by Air's Fools Club, taking back the 2 points. And we saw Zoro last round walk really far up. This is something he loves doing. We won't really see Pineapple walk up nearly as much as Zoro does, especially on the Mako, who is not a goalie that traditionally walks up too much. And great kiting there by Three Deaths, managing to push Zay away as Zay staggers him and was looking for the KO. Good brawler play.
Yeah, really good survival there. They managed to turn it around completely. Three Deaths was looking near dead, but now Zay is just as hurt. A great pass down from Three Deaths, and Flop is there to get the save. Zay's dash is not able to push it past Zoro. The NATO from Flopdwop also helping. Unfortunately, that one from Fudgy is it did more work. A flip from Zay for the pass to Fudgy puts it in the bottom corner, and PLX holds on, and Fudgy Waffles gets first pick.
And they're able to get the Monumentalist, but specialized training is also up. So they're going to be trading Monumentalist for specialized training. The Era's Fools Club is not out of the game with this draft. This is honestly a really scary draft, especially because now Flop Drop can take Among Titans, and Mako and X benefit so much from that increased size. Even though PLX won the first set and got first pick on the draft, it's hard for me to say that they won the draft.
I
This game
I
can
think they
snowball very
lost it.
quick.
I think they lost the draft. I think this draft from PLX is exactly one thing that they really got, and it's that monumentalist on Fudgy. And if they're able to capitalize on it, then they won the draft. And if they're not, then there's so many good things here that Era's Fool Club got. That Among Titans is huge, actually. The quick strikes for Zoro, it's a lot more saves. The specialized for 3DS with the cast to last already online. It's all on Fudgy to make something happen with this Monumentalist, or they extremely lost this draft. And right now, they haven't done anything with it. And Era's Fool Club are actually pushing up here, got the first barrier, and they're holding both of their own.
It is really important to note, though, Zay has Egoist. These rounds, if they go long enough, and they definitely can, since Pineapple has Hotshot and so many abilities to save the net with, Zay can end the round with a flip. However, there we saw he got staggered. He wasn't able to do anything with it. That can also happen. These comps do a lot of damage. They have core control. They basically have everything. That's why we see them so much. Great snipe by Pineapple for the barrier.
You know what that was? That's Hotshot, baby. Hotshot
Exactly.
definitely gave Pineapple the speed on that primary to get that barrier. And that's something that Zoro does not have with that Castellas.
We're also seeing something that's, even though this PLX roster with Fudgy is new and they haven't been playing together for too long, particularly Fudgy and Pineapple, Zay and Fudgy have been playing forever. We even saw them in Nassau last season, the last week when Kilius was unavailable. Fudgy played goalie, Zay subbed in for midfield, and they took a game off Core Overflow. And we're seeing this synergy between Fudgy and Zay forever really come in clutch
Oh.
here. Great kill on oh my, three deaths.
It was three
They're
deaths.
all the same. It's so hard to see.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell. At least three deaths and Zay have different skins on, but all the Era skins banned, you can't really have anything to tell them apart. But a great kill from three deaths actually takes this one back. Both barriers are down for
Double
Era's Fool
beam from
Club.
Flop.
Oh, whoa. This is a little bit tough. Zay is back, and they were right on top of that respawn pad as he came back, able to immediately contribute. Flop has this core flip, looking to do something with it in the midfield to take this last barrier. But these Monumentalist Tornadoes are, in fact, doing quite a lot of work from Fudgy, although that shot was just a little bit off. A great dash and strike from 3 means all the barriers are down, and this is anybody's point here. It's going quite fast in overtime now. Even Zoro is reading the core, although I believe that was the 10th strike from Mako. A tornado from Flop keeps it in. 3 not quite able to control it. A core flip here from Zoro. A pass to 3 and into the bottom corner.
That
A
was an insane
great
angle.
shot. Great angles from both players there. This is a close match so far.
Yeah, both teams are. I feel like Era's Fools Club is just able to find these little chinks in the defense of PLX, managing to get the core in. Meanwhile, we're seeing a lot of great forward synergy moments from Fudgy and Zay. Pineapple is finding the snipes with Hotshot with the with the lowered CDs. It's a very competitive game, and I can really see this going either way.
Yeah, it's so close. But right now, PLX has the lead. They've gotten both barriers, and even though Pineapple can't quite get it, uh, Flop Drop's Tornado is just a little bit smaller than Fudgy's, and so Fudgy able to have a little bit more impact with that ability. Has control of the core, just dribbling and dribbling while that Mako secondary ticks. Although 3DS jumps on right now. Zay also has core flip. There's so much damage going down for 3DS, and he does manage to get that last barrier. Great core flip there from Zoro. Saves the core flip from Zay. Fudgy not able to get a beam on the core, but able to get an amazing strike angle off the middle.
Pudgy's just really confident here. He's a very experienced midfielder. He's finding a lot of time to just play around with the core, wait it out, knowing he's not in any danger, and waits for the enemy team to make a positioning mistake or accidentally hits the night market angle and gets his own barrier. Luckily, there's another one there. It doesn't matter too much.
Right, yeah. Who cares about one night market barrier? The other one will be up for another 10 minutes anyway. Zoro unable to get the pass through the middle to flop there. Fudgy shrinking everybody. Uh, it's a little bit tough, it seems like, for Era's Fool Club to get the core cleared out with these Monumentalist Tornadoes. The space that they're buying is, in fact, quite big. Although they are, oh, never mind. Fudgy puts on a lot of pressure there, eventually gets it with that beam, and Fudgy beats the core flip from Flop directly and wins the second set.
Yeah,
That
just
one was all Fudgy.
Fudgy did a great job there at punishing Era's Fools Club for their mistakes. They're just not striking at the right timings together. You should really never lose a 1v2 against an Era. If you time your strikes, you're going to beat her abilities.